Picture this. The innocent phrase, "be careful," something you've probably said 100 times to your toddler, could be quietly chipping away at their confidence, curiosity, and growth. Yeah, I know, it sounds wild. How can two little words meant to protect end up doing harm? But stick with me, because the way we talk to our little ones in those split-second moments shapes how they see the world and themselves. Today, I'm tearing into 3 common phrases we toss out without thinking, unpacking why they backfire, and handing you better words that build trust and courage instead. Let's dive deep into the power of what we say. Now, you might be wondering, how does something as simple as "be careful" mess with a toddler's head? It's not just about the words, it's about the message underneath. When your kid's teetering on the edge of a slide or swinging a stick way too close to another child, your gut screams to warn them. But here's the rub. Be careful doesn't tell them what to watch out for or how to stay safe. It just plants a seed of fear, vague, undefined, and heavy. I've seen it play out at the park countless times. A little boy, maybe 3 years old, freezes mid-climb on the monkey bars the second his mom yells, "Be careful." His wide eyes dart around, searching for some invisible danger he can't name. He doesn't learn to assess the height or grip tighter, he just learns to be scared. Over time, that fear builds a wall. Studies back this up. Research from child development experts shows kids repeatedly exposed to vague warnings become less likely to take healthy risks, which stunts everything from motor skills to social bravery. Think about it. Exploration is how they grow. If every new step comes with a shadowy "be careful," they start to think the world's a minefield. And that's just the first phrase. There are 2 more we use every day that can trip up their sense of security and trust in ways we never intended. Let's peel back the layers and see how our words land in their tiny, sponge-like minds. Let's start with the big picture. Language isn't just noise to a toddler. It's the blueprint they use to build their understanding of safety, love, and limits. Every word we choose either opens a door or slams it shut. Take "be careful," for instance. It's not just about fear. It's about missing a teaching moment. When your kid's climbing a tree, wobbly but determined, saying "be careful" signals danger without a roadmap. They don't learn to spot a shaky branch or hold on tighter. They just feel your anxiety. Compare that to saying, "Look for a strong branch to step on. I'm right here if you need me." Now you've given them a tool and a safety net. I remember watching a friend's daughter at a playground, scaling a rock wall with this fierce little focus. Her dad didn't shout warnings. He stood close and said, "Test each step. Make sure it feels steady." She nodded, adjusted her footing, and made it to the top, beaming. That's not just a win for her balance. It's a win for her belief in herself. Data from the American Academy of Pediatrics underlines this. Kids who receive specific, supportive guidance during risky play develop better problem-solving skills and self-reliance by age 5 compared to those shielded by generic cautions. But it's not just about physical risks. The second phrase, "Bye, I'm leaving now," hits even harder because it toys with their deepest need, your presence. Picture this. You're at the park. It's time to go, and your toddler's glued to the swing, ignoring your pleas. In a desperate bid, you start walking away, calling over your shoulder, "Bye, I'm leaving." Their little face crumples, and they sprint after you, sobbing, "Don't go." Sure, it worked. You got them moving. But at what cost? Toddlers take words literally. They don't get that it's a bluff. They feel the threat of abandonment, raw and real. I've watched this unfold with a neighbor's kid. After a few rounds of this leaving trick, he started clinging to his mom at every outing. whimpering if she even stepped 2 feet away. That's not obedience. That's insecurity. Child psychologists warn that repeated threats like this can erode a child's sense of emotional safety, making them doubt whether love is conditional on behavior. And worse, when they realize you don't mean it, they stop taking your words seriously. Trust cracks. Instead, try this. Kneel down, look them in the eye, and say, "I know it's tough to leave when you're having fun, but we've got your favorite puzzle waiting at home. Walk with me, or should I carry you?" You're validating their feelings, setting a boundary, and giving them a say. I've seen this shift turn tantrums into teamwork. Less stress for everyone. Then there's the third trap. Negative commands like stop throwing your food. Imagine dinner time. Your toddler flings peas across the room, grinning like it's a game. You rush over, arms flailing, voice sharp. "Don't throw that." Guess what? They do it again. Why? Because your big, animated reaction is pure gold to them. It's attention, drama, cause and effect fun. I've been there, dodging mashed potatoes while my own frustration boiled over. But here's the logic. Telling them what not to do is confusing. Their little brains struggle to flip a negative into a positive action. Plus, all that energy you're pouring into stop just fuels their antics. Research from early childhood educators shows that toddlers respond 40% faster to positive instructions than negative ones. So, swap it out. Say, "Keep the food on your plate or in your mouth." It's clear, direct, and skips the guesswork. I tried this during a particularly messy spaghetti night, staying calm and pointing to the plate. It wasn't instant magic, but after a few repeats, the throwing slowed, and I wasn't the evening's entertainment anymore. These 3 phrases, "be careful," "bye, I'm leaving," and "stop throwing," aren't just words. They're missed chances to guide, connect, and teach. Let's dig even deeper into why they sting and how to pivot. Here's a twist that might stop you cold. Even when we think we're protecting our kids with these phrases, we might be teaching them to ignore us. Take, "Bye, I'm leaving now." Beyond the emotional gut punch, there's a sneaky side effect. When you say it, but don't follow through. Because let's be real, you're not actually abandoning your child. They start to clock your bluffs. I've seen this with a little girl at a community playgroup. Her mom used the leaving line every time they had to pack up. First few times, panic and tears. But by the 4th or 5th, she just smirked, stayed put, and waited for mom to circle back. That's not a win. It's a lesson in tuning out. Child behavior studies note that inconsistent follow-through on warnings drops compliance rates by up to 30% over time. Your words lose weight. Now flip to stop throwing your food or any "don't do that" command. The more you react, the more they repeat, because they're wired for connection, even if it's through chaos. I've watched a toddler at a family barbecue chuck bread rolls just to see his dad's exaggerated no, complete with wild hand gestures. It became a show, not a boundary. The fix isn't louder scolding. It's redirecting with purpose. Say, "Let's put the bread on your plate. Show me how you do it." You're not just stopping the behavior. You're steering them to a better one. And with "be careful," the vagueness doesn't just scare. It leaves them helpless. A specific "hold the railing tight as you step down" paints a picture they can act on. These aren't just word swaps. They're trust builders. Let's break this down to the core and see how each fix rewires the dynamic. This is the heart of it. Our words aren't throwaways. They're the scaffolding our toddlers lean on to build courage, trust, and smarts. Let's tackle "be careful" head on with a scene I can't shake. I was at a local park watching a boy, barely 3, inching up a low climbing wall. His mom, hovering nearby, kept muttering, "Be careful, be careful," her voice tight with worry. Each time she said it, his little shoulders tensed, his pace slowed, until he just sat there, stuck, looking back at her for rescue. That phrase didn't keep him safe. It paralyzed him. Now imagine the alternative. I've used it myself during a backyard adventure when a kid I was watching scrambled onto a low tree branch. Instead of a warning, I said, "Check if the branch feels strong before you step. Push down hard first. I'm right here." He tested it, nodded, and climbed with purpose, glancing at me with this proud little smirk. That's the difference. One approach breeds doubt, the other builds skill. Research from the Journal of Child Development backs this. Specific verbal cues during play increase a child's risk assessment ability by 25% compared to generic warnings. Now let's hit "bye, I'm leaving now" with raw honesty. I felt that temptation when you're late, exhausted, and your toddler's staging a sit-in at the sandbox. But I've seen the fallout too. A close pal used this trick regularly, and after a few months, her son started having meltdowns over tiny separations, even if she just went to the bathroom. The fear of being left stuck. Here's the better path. Acknowledge the struggle, set the limit, and sweeten the deal. I see you love the sandbox, but it's time to head home for story time with your favorite book. Wanna hop on my shoulders or hold my hand? I've done this on tough days, and yeah, sometimes there's still a pout, but offering control shifts the vibe. Data from parenting studies shows choice-based transitions cut resistance by nearly half. And 4, stop throwing your food. Let's get real about attention. Toddlers crave it, good or bad. I've been the clown at dinner, jumping up with a dramatic no, only to see more peas fly. But switching to, "Show me how you keep peas on your tray," flips the script. I did this during a chaotic meal, staying calm, pointing to the tray. First attempt, a skeptical stare. Second, a slow, deliberate placement of a pea, like it was a trophy. By the third, we were laughing together. Child behavior experts note positive directives boost compliance by 35% in under 5s because they're clearer and less confrontational. These swaps aren't just fixes, they're investments. Every time you choose words that guide instead of scare, you're wiring your child to trust you, solve problems, and step boldly into their world. It's not about perfection, it's about intention. Our voices are their first teachers. Let's make every lesson count. Now for a lighter moment, because parenting isn't all heavy stakes. It's also absurdly funny if you squint. Picture this disaster of a dinner. I'm sitting across from a toddler who's decided mashed potatoes are better as confetti. First lob hits the floor, and I'm up, voice sharp. "Don't throw that!" Big mistake. Those little eyes light up, a mischievous grin spreads, and boom, another handful sails past my head. It's like I've joined a circus act, dodging spuds while this tiny human cackles like I'm the best show in town. I could have kept playing the frantic ringmaster, but I caught myself. Deep breath. I leaned in, voice steady, and said, "Hey, let's keep the potatoes on your plate. Can you stack them like a tower?" A pause. A curious tilt of the head. Then, with the focus of a tiny engineer, a potato blob gets plopped down. Then another, wobbly but deliberate. We're both giggling now, not at chaos, but at this silly shared game. That's the magic, turning a mess into a moment. It didn't solve everything overnight, but it broke the cycle of me as the unwitting entertainer. I've replayed this with other kids, other messes, spaghetti, peas, even toy cars zooming off tables. And each time, redirecting to a "do this instead" feels less like a battle and more like a conspiracy we're in together. Parenting's full of these small, ridiculous wins, where a tweak in how you talk can turn a tantrum into teamwork. It's not always pretty, but man, it's real. And sometimes it's the laugh you didn't know you needed on a rough day. So here's the bottom line. Our words are more than sound bites. They're the building blocks of how our toddlers grow into themselves. Ditching "be careful" for specific guidance, like "hold tight to the railing," teaches them to think, not freeze. Swapping "bye, I'm leaving" for empathy and choices, like "it's hard to go, but let's pick, walk or carry," keeps their trust intact. And trading "stop throwing" for "keep it on the plate" cuts the chaos without feeding the drama. These aren't just quick fixes. They're how we show our kids they're safe to explore, loved no matter what, and capable of figuring things out. It's on us to choose words that lift them up, not hold them back. If you're vibing with this and want more real talk tips on raising little humans, hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell. Your support keeps me sharing. And hey, drop a comment with one phrase you've caught yourself saying to your toddler that you're ready to rethink. I'm all ears for your stories.